All right, what's up? What's going on, everybody? It is your host, Michael Garza. What's going on, everybody? I'm here for you. I kind of speechless as to what's happening. It's kind of crazy. Just saw this on the news that there was a shooting, unfortunately, and that's never good. We're pulling up a few pieces of information now. Bear with me. Yeah, we're pulling up additional info, though. We're pulling up as much info as we can. Bear with me, you guys. Trying to, at least. This just might take a few seconds. But thank you guys for tuning in. I am your host, Michael Garza. Yeah, so there was a shooting at a mosque in San Diego. And we're covering it right now. And we're just going to see what we can uncover and understand about this. But yeah, it's... don't have a lot of details. At least not at the moment. Give me a few seconds, though. Getting everything pulled up real quick. It's just going to take a few more moments, that's all, to get it all squared away. And but thank you guys for being patient, though. I really appreciate it. But hopefully everybody's doing really well tonight. And as always, we want everybody to be doing as well as possible. And, you know, we love you guys on this channel quite a bit. And we try to make a good show, a fun show. And it's just sad when things like this happen, though. It really is difficult when things like this happen. There's live updates. We're going to react to some videos. It's pretty much where we're going to go with this. I don't know, man. That's rough, bro. I'm pulling up additional information, though, real quick. Sorry for all the delays. You guys are being extremely patient, and for that, I cannot thank you enough. I love how patient everybody is on this channel, especially with me sometimes, considering I am a slow man from time to time. And no, you guys make this show worthwhile, and couldn't have done it without you guys. So it is honestly sad to see these kinds of situations happen, especially because it's just like you want to see these people, you know, not be hurt, obviously. And it blows my mind sometimes when this shit happens, dude. It sucks. It really does. Give me just a few moments, though, pulling up additional information and all that. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, though. Appreciate you. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. So Supernova X's is from San Diego. Okay. But yeah, no, it's just sad, dude. I hate seeing stuff like this. It really, it's terrible. It really is. And situations like these, I never know what to say. I don't think anybody ever does. I think we're all just shocked and pretty disgusted by it. Let's react to a few videos, though. I mean, that's the least we could do, is understand what's happening before we rush to any judgment or, you know what I mean? We don't want to guess too much on what's happening. We just kind of want to try to understand what's happening as best as we can. But yeah, here looks like we're pulling up additional pieces. One more second. Thank you guys for being patient once again. Okay. Breaking news: shooter opens fire. Let's say this. This is from 8 hours ago.
Police are responding to reports of an active shooter at an Islamic center in San Diego. Let's go to Chief Correspondent Jonathan Hunt in Los Angeles covering the fires. But this is another breaking story. What can you tell us so far on this, Jonathan?
Yeah. Martha, we got the first word of this about 30 minutes ago, that there was an active shooter situation confirmed by the police, confirmed also by the mayor of San Diego. It's at the Islamic Center of San Diego. That is the largest Islamic center in San Diego County. A huge police response.
Yeah.
You can make out some of those police vehicles in that wide area.
It's crazy, though.
That we're currently getting. We do not have confirmed word yet on how many victims there may have been in this shooting. We understand that there may have been.
So far, I only know that there's 3 victims, and so that's all I know so far. Is just that there's 3 victims, and it's about all we know on this end. There could be more. There could be more than what we realize, but it's still messed up, dude. It's so messed up.
Some, but we are awaiting, of course, as we always do in these situations, for official confirmation before we give our viewers any information on any injured or indeed anybody who may have been killed in this shooting. Neighbors have been talking about it. They've been talking about a man with an automatic rifle, possibly confronted there by a security guard. Again, we're waiting for confirmation of that. But as you look at the rear of some of the outbuildings there, we have seen going into those buildings heavily armed officers. They were just moving in. Now, that may have been simply that they are sweeping every room, as they tend to do in these situations. And I also should point out there is a school on that property as well. It is the Bright Horizon Academy. As we understand it, it is pre-K to 3rd grade. We would assume that every single child has been evacuated from that facility right now. When we first came to the pictures here that we've been monitoring now for 30 minutes or so, I saw a lot of people being led away from the scene.
I mean, this is honestly insane, man.
With single file
freaking
queues we've
wild.
seen so often in these kind of tragic situations. So what we know for now, for sure, Martha, is that there was or is an ongoing active shooter situation at the Islamic Center in San Diego. We do not know whether anybody has been injured, whether anybody has been killed. We will bring you those details as soon as we get official confirmation.
Yeah, hopefully we get a little more details. It's just unfortunate, though. Well, it's not just unfortunate, it's disturbing, to be honest. Ugh.
Of them, but as you can see from that scene, police swarmed the area, and it is very much an active situation right now, Martha.
Jonathan, thank you. Paul Morrow stayed with us as we start to get the outlines of what's going on here at the Islamic Center.
Honestly, GMP, I've got no idea, bro. I have zero clue what's going on with this country, and I wish I could tell you what's happening, bro, but I really don't know. I honestly have zero clue sometimes what the frick is happening, man. It's just, it's beyond messed up, man. It's just, what's happening there is, I believe it to be a hate crime. If you're doing something like that, it's a clear-cut hate crime. It's a hate crime through and through. And if people don't realize that, I don't know what to tell you, bro. It's a hate crime beyond all measure. It really is. And it's disturbing. It's very disturbing. blows my mind.
Of San Diego, it's an enormous place, Paul. So it's got to be difficult to determine, to sweep that whole place and to know whether or not the shooter is down or dead or still active.
Yeah, and we don't know which way the bullets are going here, right? We've had a number of instances recently where religious institutions have been attacked, right? Now, we're being told active shooter, the police are there. Is it a hostage situation? Is somebody holed up in there shooting out? Or is somebody shooting into the place? So we don't know really the contours of what's going on here. We know that we've had a couple of recent attacks. We had the
this is insane.
Attack, which we got very
ultimately
lucky.
It's pure insanity.
The vehicle right into
That's what
the
it
synagogue.
is.
Fortunately, stopped
That's what
by
it really
a security guard. Could have a similar situation here. I'm trying to get some information about it. According to what I see here,
insanity.
It is a Sunni mosque location. Why do I bring that up? Because Iran is a Shia nation. And some of the stuff that we've seen lately relative to Iran, like, for instance, Hezbollah-linked attacks that were planned to go off here.
I mean, you can guess all day long like what you think might be happening, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, this is disturbing, man. Look, I'm not a fan of, I'll admit it, I'm not a fan of Islam, but I mean, this is unacceptable. This level of violence is uncalled for, straight up. Uncalled for, 100%. And, yeah, I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I have no clue what to say. Zero. None. I wouldn't know what to tell you guys. I'm a little bit disturbed. Not just a little bit. I'm completely disturbed by this. This is just, what is happening? And to be honest, why is this happening? That's the part that just doesn't make any sense to me. GR is asking, when did this happen? It was earlier today. I think it might have happened just about 8 to 10 or 12 hours ago. I don't know the exact time, but I know it was sometime today, it appears. We'll probably get a little more information on it, but this is crazy, man. I mean, this really is insanity. And it's disturbing. You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm a Trump guy. I love Trump, but this is crazy. And whoever did this, it's a level of hatred that I'm not on board with.
Here in America, that has a Shia footprint. And if you do I did 15, 16 years of counterterrorism, you think in those terms. What do I have here? Where should I be looking? What connections should I be looking for? Who's identified? So some of the atmospherics here. But of course, the most important thing right now, control the situation and make sure nobody gets hurt.
Paul, thank you. Thank you for sticking around. Breaking news there. We'll continue to let you know as we get more information.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest.
Well, here's a more recent update, it looks like.
Let me start off by extending heartfelt condolences to the Muslim community, to the families of the 3 that are deceased because of the horrific actions of today. This is a city's...
Tim is saying now arrested. Okay. Like the people who did this were now arrested and everything. Well, that's good. At least, you know, as long as there's some semblance of justice that happens, because this is, like I said, extremely unacceptable, extremely disturbing, quite a bit disturbing, if anything. And, yeah. I just don't know what to say, man. I hate when this stuff happens. Like, if there's anything I can't stand, it's this sort of stuff, you know? And I guess at the end of the day, it just kind of blows my mind, you know? So, but, you know, where do you go from here? No clue. No clue at all, man. I just, it just makes me sick. I try to figure these things out. I try to understand. You know, you try to understand why these things happen, and you kind of can't. I mean, like, I'm just sick of all these. So, you know, one thing I was very disturbed by with, like, Iran and everything was how they were treating a lot of their citizens, you know, and the things that they were doing to their citizens were increasingly disturbing. And to me, it's just like seeing this is even more frightening. So, but Tim Smith says that they're now arrested, which honestly is a good thing. You know, it's something that needed to happen. I mean, obviously bad people need to be arrested without a doubt, you know.
In a community's absolute worst nightmare as a free society. I appreciate all of your patience.
Okay, here's
now
this is probably a better
a police
update.
press conference in San Diego.
This might be a
the
better
shooting
one.
In
Hold on.
San,
Maybe
in
it's
San
a better
Diego at the
one. I don't
Mosque.
know.
Let's listen in.
We'll see. Responding to that call for service at the same time. There was a landscaper that was doing his work that was shot at.
Unacceptable.
And fortunately was not hit. That was at about the 7100 block of Salerno, which is just a couple blocks from here.
Hey, Slim Margin, thank you very much. Even without the mustard in the hair, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. I just don't know what to say, man.
Moments later, at the 3800 block of Hatton, officers were called to that location where they found a vehicle in the middle of the street with who we believe to be the shooters in this incident, both deceased.
Okay.
The circumstances that led up to this and the details of what happened and exactly which time it happened will come out in the days ahead. I can tell you, this is, in 28 years, this is the most dynamic and impressive response that I have ever seen in policing. We have every single police officer available throughout our county that dropped what they're doing and did exactly what they're trained to do.
That's beautiful.
Run towards gunfire. I could not be more proud, and I cannot express the gratitude, the willingness to step into harm's way in a moment like this. And I tell you what got me. Watching the kids come running out. Just thankful to be alive. I want to bring up Mark Remley from the FBI. Because of the Islamic Center location, we are considering this a hate crime until it's not.
You know, I think it should be by default considered a hate crime. I think anytime you open fire, anytime you open fire in a religious place at all, I think it's a hate crime, obviously. Either way, it's still attempted murder. It's still disturbing. And it's sad that people have to do these things. It's messed up. Beyond all measure, it's messed up, man. And to be honest, it's kind of insane. Not just kind of, it's completely insane. It really is. It really is wild. But what do you guys think about all this?
And at this point, we're going to work closely with the FBI to make sure that we are matching all the resources that we need for this investigation. So, Mark?
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Bremley. I'm the special agent in charge of the FBI San Diego field office.
Oh, yeah.
Today, the FBI responded to assist our local law enforcement partners at the Islamic Center.
So we don't know who the
Diego.
shooter was
This
specifically.
was based on reports of an active shooter.
At least, as far as I know, we don't know who the shooter was. Tim Smith said that the two had been arrested, I think. I think that the ones that did it were arrested. I would like to believe.
As the chief said, what we know at this time is that there are 3 deceased adult males, and those are the presumed victims at this time. On behalf of the FBI, we extend our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of the victims of this tragic incident. There were 2 subjects, both teenagers, and both are confirmed deceased.
Okay. Was he saying that the shooters were teenagers? Oh, I didn't quite catch that. Hold on.
Extend our sincerest condolences to the family and friends of the victims of this tragic incident. There were 2 subjects, both teenagers, and both are confirmed deceased. I want to thank our local law enforcement partners for their quick...
So I think what he was saying is that the people, the suspects who did this were killed, as far as they know.
response that undoubtedly saved the additional loss of life. The FBI is meticulously assessing the situation and is prepared to employ every resource we have to uncover the facts of this incident. No community should have to go through such a tragic incident, but we will work tirelessly.
It's good to see you, Texas Jane. We got Texas Jane in the house. We got Tim Smith in the house. We've got Slim Margin. It's just good to see Slim Margin. Sorry if I'm ignoring anybody. I'm trying not to ignore anybody. I'm just kind of in disarray, man. Dolphin Tactics says Mike is like a public toilet. He doesn't turn his nose up at any circulating news. I appreciate that. Hell yeah. Thank you very much. Mucho appreciato. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you. Tim Smith says one of the shooters was... Oh, wow, okay, that's... Oh. You know what? We're going to have to see... who were the shooters in San Diego? Okay, so shooting left 5 dead. What we know 5 hours later. Well, let's look at the CBS San Diego coverage on this one real quick.
But we know
we'll see what
all
we can
students
find.
and teachers made it out of that school at the center safely. We also know both of the suspects are dead. We have team coverage tonight. Our Steve Price has more on the young students being reunited with their families. Our Steffi Roche is gathering new information on the 3 victims and the suspects. But first, let's get out to News 8's Shannon Handy. Shannon, you've been there from the beginning. You were on the scene from that news conference that a lot happened in.
Man,
what can you tell us about what we just learned?
The other was Caleb Velasquez. Okay. Yeah, man, I don't know what to say about this, man. This is just... I would like to say it's very disturbing.
Small wiener gang.
Thank you, Susan Carroll. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Everybody give a shout out to Susan Carroll, everybody. Everybody give a shout out to Susan Carroll.
Small wiener gang.
Make sure you guys tap the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. It does help the channel grow in more ways than one. But yeah, this is just... I don't even know what to say, man. Just wild. Wild, and wild. kind of just don't, like you said, in these situations, you just don't always know what to think. You don't know what to say. So Tim Smith is saying the other was Caleb Velasquez, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to try and summarize this as best I can. The news conference just wrapped from Police Chief Scott Wall. We also heard from the mayor as well as the FBI as well as the head of the mosque. Essentially what's adding to the coverage, which we've already been reporting on, 2 hours before this shooting occurred, San Diego police got a call from a concerned mother. She let San Diego police know that her 17-year-old son was possibly suicidal. He had left their home in her car and had taken 3 of her firearms. And she indicated that there may have been some hate rhetoric. I don't know if this was written down somewhere or something he had said to her, and that he was with an acquaintance and they were dressed in camo. So this immediately set off some alarm. So San Diego police actually used their license plate reader system, and they found that the vehicle was near Fashion Valley. They went over there. They did not discover anything. They also set up some security measures over at Madison High School. Apparently, the 17-year-old is a student at Madison High School. So just to kind of recap that, there was a concerned mother who said her 17-year-old son had left the home with firearms and was possibly suicidal and had indicated some type of hate rhetoric. As police were investigating those reports and trying to follow this vehicle or determine where it might end up, that's when they got the call from the Islamic Center of a shooting. Officers arrived within 4 minutes. This was around 11:45. When they arrived, they encountered 3 male adults dead outside the mosque. We know one of them was a security guard. The other 2, those victims' names have not been released. What adds to the complication of this story is after that initial call at the mosque where the 3 victims were found dead, police were hearing of another shooting a few blocks away. There was a landscaper working at a home near the mosque. He was in the front yard and he said someone drove by and shot at him. Now, Chief Wall earlier had indicated this landscaper was not injured, but during the second news conference, he said that the landscaper was wearing a helmet, and it's possible that a bullet hit his helmet and that helmet may have saved his life. As officers were at that second scene, they got yet another call of another shooting a few blocks from there, and that is where they discovered a vehicle parked in the middle of the road. Inside that vehicle were 2 teenagers dead from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. They believe these 2 to be the suspects, the 17-year-old and an 18-year-old acquaintance. We do not know the relationship between the 2. So, as you can imagine, there are a lot of details to get through, but
gift yum yum, gift yum yum.
Hey, thank you so much, Texas Jane. I appreciate the gold coins. Mucho apreciado. If anybody wants to send any gifts, it does help the channel in a lot of ways. So I appreciate any sort of gifts you guys want to send my way. It does help a lot.
just to recap all of that, we know that 3 adult male victims were shot and killed here at the mosque, and the 2 suspected teenage gunmen were found dead from self-inflicted gunshot wounds in the middle of the street. I know that the mayor had talked about this as being a hate crime. Here's what he had to say just a few minutes.
Sounds like a hate crime to me. Give me a moment. I need a second.
Gift yum yum, gift yum yum.
And this can sometimes be a problem when it comes to covering the news. You know what I mean? It's the news can be a very dark thing to cover from time to time, and thank you, Vacation Time, for sending a star for 2 jewels. Really, mucho apreciado, man. I do appreciate it big time. Let's just keep watching.
Let's go.
Hate has no home in San Diego. Islamophobia has no home in San Diego. An attack on any San Diegan is an attack on all San Diegans, and we will not stand for it in America's finest city.
And that was, of course, a message that we've been hearing throughout the day as this has unfolded. I spoke with a family member of two children who go to the school.
Let me take a look at this real quick. Cinna Simon is saying, sounds like a psyop. Don't believe any of the slop. Let me read that back.
Laugh out loud. Sounds like a psyop. Don't believe any of this slop.
Well, I am not sure about that. Why would they do all of this? It makes no sense. To plan. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to respond to you on this one, man. I'm trying to think. I am very doubtful of this, but I do understand the levels of skepticism. Yeah, I need to learn how to spell skepticism here. Levels of skepticism. You are feeling, my friend. But I do understand the skepticism, though. The skepticism, oddly enough, it makes sense. I can't say I automatically just believe all the skepticism, but, you know, I get it. I absolutely get it, Brony.
Associated with the mosque, visibly very upset. She was expressing her frustration to me, saying this should not be a place where you should be scared to go, a place of worship or a place where you send your children to school. We shared images, we've been sharing them all day, these heartbreaking images of children being escorted out of the school, terrified, and then families arriving to the school not knowing what was going on and not knowing if their children were safe. Carlo?
What a terrifying day. Shannon, that was really just an incredible job just setting what happened today. We learned a lot of new information there. Way to set that out for people. One thing I wanted to ask you, we couldn't quite hear all the questions. Did anyone ask Chief Wall why we're not learning the identities of the two suspects that were found dead at this?
Yeah, I think it would be good to know who these monsters were, the monsters who did this. I think the public wants a lot of answers, and I can't say I blame the public. I would definitely want some answers if I were them. It's extremely disturbing, to even just say the least, you know. But I totally see what Cinna Simon's saying. I don't agree. Cinna Simon, I'm going to tell you this. I don't agree with what you're saying in the super chat. I've always been curious. I really don't know what a PSYOP is at the end of the day. What is a PSYOP? Because sometimes the way people use it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Let's see. A PSYOP is short for psychological operation. Is a campaign designed to influence the emotions, motives, and reasoning of a targeted audience, often without their realization. I see. So you're saying that the news is covering this in a way. So the way I'm interpreting what you're saying is that you're saying the news is covering this in a certain kind of way that makes it, I don't know, that makes it to where people can be more easily manipulated, I think. If that's what you're suggesting? I mean, granted, I can kind of see your point now. Because to be honest, when it comes to the word PSYOP, I hear it used all the time, but I really don't know what it means ultimately. I don't know. It's frustrating and disturbing, I'll tell you that. It just feels weird. It definitely feels messed up, though. But yeah, let's just keep observing and trying to understand what we can, I guess, and just go from there. I don't even know what to say, man. I'm pretty disgusted by this. I feel like I'm in a weird spot, bro.
Point, because it seems clear they know the identities. Why aren't we learning those?
He did not say. The question specifically was not asked. I went to go ask that question, and the chief shut down any more questions. I have a feeling it's because.
Cinna Simon saying, read my previous. Okay. Give me one moment, Cinna Simon, okay? Cinna Simon, where are you at, bro? Give me just a moment, okay, bud? Trying to find your, I'm not seeing your previous one. Hold on. Cinna Simon. So, I don't know why it's not showing me the previous. Maybe it was banned. Hold on. It's possible that your original chat might have got banned. Hold on. Give me 1 second, Cinna Simon, okay? Cinna Simon. Sounds like a psyop. Don't believe any of this slump. Okay. Oh, here we go. Cinna Simon is saying distracting from the economy and the Epstein file. I don't know, dude. I will admit, though, when it comes to the news cycle, everybody does have a short attention span. That is very, very accurate. And I completely agree. 100%. I totally see what you're saying, though, Cinna Simon. Look, I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I do think that the Iran war was started through the influence of Israel, for sure. But I do believe that it wasn't necessarily started by us. I mean, I feel like the Iran war has been something that has been boiling for a long time, the way Iran has been towards the U.S., towards its Middle Eastern countries. I got my doubts here and there about a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. That's just the way I see it, though.
Because this is still under investigation and they're still trying to gather more details. Also, Carlo, he did mention that search warrants right now are currently being served. And I would guess that one of those search warrants, or at least two of them, are at the homes of these teenage suspects. And when you release the names, of course, then it becomes a media frenzy and we figure out where they live and it just becomes a little more chaotic. So my guess is that they want to wait until they can gather more for this investigation.
Great insight there. Shannon Handy reporting live. Thanks, Shannon. She finished on the note about the suspects. Our Steffi Roche is near Hatton Street, near a dead end there where the two suspects were found dead of apparently self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Steffi, you've been out there for a while. What new are we learning out there?
Well, the scene is a bit quieter out here now.
You know, usually it's, in these types of situations, usually it's a lone gunman. It's just kind of crazy that two people decided to do this, you know what I mean? That two made that decision, you know? Orwell, the resident, says, Garza, what up, Orwell? Love you, bro. Yeah, that's just crazy, man. Sometimes I just don't know what to think.
Now it's still active. You can see this police tape here behind me, but most of the action is down there behind me in the area of 3800 Hatton Street. That is where those two teen suspects were found dead. I'm going to step to the side so you can take a better look at this scene over here. Like I said, the scene still active. It's a little quieter. still blocked off for now. Law enforcement, they are down there now, but this is close as we are allowed to get. From our vantage point, we don't have a clear picture of that car in question where the teens were found dead, believed to be from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Police, they are completely blocking off residents. They cannot get through to their homes no matter what. This appears to be a police vehicle coming in right now. Yeah, that's a police vehicle, not a resident. Residents, they are unable to get into their homes. We've been talking to some of them out here. People have been hanging out, looking out. But residents who are trying to get back to their homes, they are incredibly frustrated. Here's what one son and mother told me a little while ago, about an hour ago.
4-year-old mom is right here in the car. We live on Hatton Street right there. He could let us go through. He wants us to park here and have a 94-year-old woman walk 500 yards to get her medication. No, it's not, Mom. Yeah, I mean, it's horrible that somebody got killed.
Well, if it's an investigation, they can't have the crime scene tampered with. So, honestly, 500 yards, I mean, that's about 5 football fields. I think she'll manage. Wait. So why doesn't this lazy guy get the medication for her? Okay, so she wouldn't have to walk 500 yards. You could do it for her. You know what I mean? You could walk the 500 yards for her because you seem to be pretty able-bodied. I don't get it.
Well, people got killed, horrible. But a woman that's 94 years old right now that lives 1 block away, needs to get to her meds, they won't let us through.
Why don't you park somewhere, and why don't you walk to where you have to walk, get the medication for her, and bring it back to the car? I think this guy's making me really angry. No, what I'm trying to say is this. I'm trying to say that this guy in the car seems like he's pretty able-bodied. Why doesn't he go get the medication for her? You know what I mean? Like, why doesn't he can walk? Why doesn't he get the key from his mother, get the medication, bring it back to her, let her take the medication? I mean, this isn't a difficult scenario. This guy seems pretty able-bodied to me as far as I could tell. Now, granted, I could be wrong, and I'm just going to say allegedly just in case I am.
Yeah, and police are still not letting anyone through, not homeowners. No one is allowed through at this time. I've been listening in. San Diego police are still saying that it might be hours before they open up this road. But I'm going to send it back to Carlo at the desk now.
Well, it takes them a long time to process those crime scenes. Steffi Roche, thanks. And as we mentioned, young children had to be evacuated by police from the Islamic Center today after the reports of the active shooter came in. Police rushed to the scene. You see some of them right there. We saw the images of students holding hands as they were being taken to safety, led through on lines connected to each other. News 8 Steve Price is live at the Islamic Center where those students were reunited with their relieved loved ones. Steve.
Yeah, relieved parents indeed, Carlo. They heard while they were at work that there was a shooting at the Islamic Center of San Diego. They rushed to get here, but as Stephanie alluded to, a lot of streets in the area closed off, a lot of people trying to get to one place at the same time, so a lot of traffic, a lot of not knowing what was going on. And then, of course, just the chaos of the situation and that heartbreaking scene that we have been showing you of the kids walking out hand in hand with police officers, with teachers escorting them to a safer area. I had a chance to speak with a father, and he got the call at work that there was a shooting at his child's school. And I had a chance to talk to him about what it was like, and then just about the situation, what we're facing today.
It's screwed up, man. Honestly, beyond screwed up, bro. Effing crazy.
Across the world. Listen to you. Listen to this.
This is very scary. Like, I was like, this is the, you know, I'm cold feet, you know, I have goosebumps in my hand, and this is the scariest part of, you know, staying in the United States and sending the kids to school, especially that when it is a Muslim school where there are all Muslim people, and because of the hate crime and, you know, people not liking us and stuff like that. So this is a very scary moment for us. Yeah, I'm really, really scared.
How old's your child?
He is 8 years.
So in
grade 2.
Second grade?
Grade 2.
Now, have you heard he's okay?
Yes, I talked to the teacher and I have a video call. He's doing okay. They're scared, nervous. Now they're at a safe location. So, yeah.
How awesome was that video call to talk to your son and see him and know he was okay?
That's the biggest relief, you know.
For sure.
Seeing them and talking to me and making sure that he's safe and no harm came to him. Yeah, that was a very, very big sign of release. I'm just waiting to hug him and take him home, man. Yeah.
Just wants to hug him and take him home. Yeah, a lot of parents with that same sentiment today, Carlo. The good news is that now all of these students have been reunited with their families. And adding to the confusion, there is a charter school actually across the street. And so those parents were trying to get to their kids as well, but that school was in lockdown. So they had to be very methodical in how they let everybody out, so there wasn't just all this chaos and confusion with kids leaving without a parent there. And so they were very organized, but it did take a long time. But tonight, finally, all the kids back with their parents. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Steve, that parent was so eloquent in how he expressed his concerns and fears. I don't know if you had the chance to talk to other parents maybe off camera. Is that the things he expressed, the fear, the concerns that this is happening in America to them, especially as Muslims, is that a common thing that you're hearing from people on the ground there?
Without question, they are concerned and scared. And we're not hearing about it just at centers like this, but we were reporting earlier today that the Jewish Community Center was also concerned about what was going on. Nobody really knew why this was targeted and what would be targeted next. And unfortunately, that's the reality of what we're living in today. I tried to talk to another mom, and about 3 or 4 words in.
It's honestly scary. I would feel, you know, I may not be a parent, but honestly, if I were a parent, I'd be pretty, I'd be very freaked out. Without a doubt, I'd be very freaked out. 100%. 100% without a doubt, I'd be freaked out, bro. 100.
Then she just broke down in tears, and we stopped the interview and just, you know, told her, take your time. And we ended up leaving her so she could get to her child faster. But that's the emotion that we're seeing today, unfortunately, Carlo.
Yeah. And after seeing 2 of these mass shootings at religious sites in San Diego in the last 7 years, this is something that, unfortunately, we're starting to see those kinds of reactions and their echoes from each time.
It's becoming far too common. It is becoming far too commonplace, if we're going to be honest, man. It just doesn't, this should not be happening so often. It's wild. It's, you know, even though I'm not, you know, I don't care what religion you are. You have every right to practice your religion in peace. You have every right to go to whatever church you want to go to, whatever mosque you want to go to. And you have the right to pray and practice whatever religious thing you need to practice within the law, of course. But, you know, religious freedom is important to me. I may not be a very religious person, but freedom in general, along with religious freedom, is very important to me. All right? And I don't know, man. Just seeing these people, good people, be hurt in this kind of way it's unacceptable. And Orwell the resident, that's insane. So Orwell the resident saying there have been multiple you-know-what threats at his kid's school in the last few years. That's messed up, man. And that should not be happening. Like I said, that just shouldn't be happening, man. And it's so frustrating to hear that these things are happening at this type of scale, because they shouldn't be. If anything, these kids should be able to go to school in peace. You know what I mean? They should be able to go to school in some form of peace. And that's why when stuff like this happens, man, it's just a bloody shame. Yeah. Where the going 116 is saying history is repeating itself. Yeah, and this seems to happen far too often, and it's extremely unacceptable, to the point where it's just like I just don't get it. I mean, I understand that there is evil in this world, that there's a lot of desensitized people. I get that. I get that a lot. But it doesn't need to be the normal. You know, this is one of the reasons why I don't spend time on social media. I mean, I do go on YouTube, granted, and I do react to videos and all that stuff, but I do it for entertainment purposes more than anything. But this stuff, this is tough to... this is a tough one.
It's just a terrifying thought that more parents are going to have to go through this.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Steve Price reporting for us. Thanks, Steve. And we'll continue to update you on any new information we learn from today's deadly shooting. Follow CBS 8 on social media or...
What do you guys think? Times like these, man, you just want to just hide away from everything, you know? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. To all the parents out there that are going through, because honestly, as a parent, if I was a parent, I'd be afraid to send my kids to school, anywhere. And this happens just so often, and it's just I don't think it's good to be desensitized to this. Blue Nose Pity is asking how many guns per person in USA. Well, there's a lot of different people who own a lot of different guns. You know, you'd like to believe that people are responsible and won't use guns for harm or anything like that, but then again, it just turns out that people are just unwilling to do the right thing. You know, they go crazy and they do stuff like this, and I just feel kind of numb. Bubba J 007 says 3. Hey, thank you for the gold coin.
Yum. Gift yum yum.
Thank you for the gold coin, Bubba J, for 10 jewels. Mucho apreciado. But yeah, I just to everybody out there, man, I hope somehow that you're doing well.
Or download the free CBS 8 app on your phone and TV.
Let me see.
It looks like I think Asmund Gould may have reacted to this. Yeah, it looks like he did.
Walking.
Yeah, that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
there are reports of a shooting.
That's how I was able to figure out about this. Was Asmund was talking about it.
At the Islamic Center of San Diego, there is an active shooter report there. Again, this is video from just a few moments ago. Police are asking people to avoid that area completely. This is happening just east of Mission Bay. It appears there's at least one casualty. We are working to get more information on this.
Yeah.
Now, there also might be a special report from ABC News. If that happens, we're going to bring that to you. We'll keep the images of the fire in Simi Valley on the screen. Again, this is a report of a shooting at an Islamic center of San Diego, which is Claremont, 20 minutes north of downtown. Now, one of the things that we're going to tell you about as well.
It's already over. 3 dead suspects.
If you have
two killed
plans or
themselves.
you know of somebody that might be going to San Diego today, the Dodgers are.
So wait, there was three suspects? Holy crap, man.
Playing in San Diego. Petco Field is in downtown San Diego. Claremont is 20 minutes north of downtown. So just to give you
suspects,
an idea,
not 3.
if you know of someone who might be traveling to San Diego, possibly to go to the Dodger game, understand that there is now breaking news in San Diego. Reports of an active shooter. People are asked to avoid the area. This is in Claremont. Again, 20 minutes north of downtown.
2 dead suspects, age 17 and 19.
Report, again, we will bring that.
17 and 19.
Yeah, they killed themselves, right?
The images of the fire in Simi Valley on the screen, so you can see.
I think that's what people are saying.
Heavy police presence after reports of an active shooter at this Islamic center.
Great.
Such sad images coming out of San Diego. You see the little kids walking.
Yeah, I mean, what a relief.
Terrible to see.
Not another fucking retard that they're gonna drag out and do this. Yeah. And it's so sad. I mean, I think it's obviously really bad. A security guard was killed. Oh, shit. So 3 people were killed, and they killed...
So a security guard was killed. 2 suspects, age 17 and 19, were found dead in a vehicle near the mosque. Okay. All students and staff at the attended school are safe. The FBI and ATF are something. Let me see.
One security guard, and then they ended up killing themselves. Holy shit. President Trump has been briefed. What the fuck, man? That's awful. Yeah, I don't even know what 5 total. Wait, 5 total people were killed? Oh my god.
Now they're saying 5. Okay, the numbers have been kind of hit or miss.
And 5 died, 2 suspects. Jesus, man. It's being blamed on Zionists on Twitter. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, it wasn't one. I mean, there was one of these guys that did that was like an atheist, like he left Islam. I mean, like, I don't think that necessarily.
Yeah, sometimes it is possible that people will leave a religion and they will resent that religion along with other people who practice it, so that's a possibility too. You never know. We don't know what these kids. We don't know what the teens' motives were just yet. I mean, I'm assuming it's a hate crime. What happened was a hate crime, straight up, man. Yeah, that's just the way it is, man. It's unfortunate. This is a hate crime through and through, and I just
because something like if a mosque gets attacked, for example, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's somebody from like a different religion. It could be somebody that's unhappy with that religion. I don't know what happened. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody knows what happened. So where is this here? Islamic Center, Islamophobia. Like, I mean, this is the kind of stuff, right? Islamophobia. We don't even know why it happened. We don't like, well, how do we know about this at all? Yeah, I have no idea. Like, it's just crazy. I mean, again, like, this is, there are reports the suspects might be Muslim. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think, like, why would you even say this? It's friendly fire. They left suicide notes. Oh, great. Uncorroborated claim that hate speech was written on the firearm. Reports that are the kids left an anti-Muslim sewer slide note. I don't even know what that means. They said they found a suicide note and hate speech on the guns. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to wait and find out. Hate speech was scrawled on one of the weapons used in the shooting. Law enforcement says, what does it say? About racial pride. Additionally, hate speech was scrawled on there. Like, but what is the
shock, no
what is it being what's being said? Like, I don't even. They're blaming this on Israel. Of course, they're blaming it on Israel.
My goodness, man.
Rip victims. I hope the suspects burn. I mean, they're dead, right? I mean, that's done. Problem solved there, right? And why are a lot of shooters writing on their weapons? Because the reason why is the media. The reason why shooters do all of this stuff is because we talk about it and we glorify it. Like,
I will say that Asman's correct. The news glorifies these shooters too much just by even giving out these people's names and telling everybody who they were, what they were all about. This only inspires the crazy people out there to try to replicate what these people are doing. But I do feel like the mainstream media, in a weird way, does glorify a lot of this. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of glorification to this, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's wrong. I think the mainstream media glorifies this stuff a little too much, in my opinion. You know, I don't have a lot of respect for the mainstream media, as you all know, for most of the media outlets in general. I think that even local news feels like it's gone downhill quite a bit. But mainstream media is definitely the bottom of the barrel, it feels like. Even though I watch Fox News on this channel, I don't even really like Fox News that much. You know? And it could just be two crazy teenagers, but we'll see what their suicide notes say. Maybe the suicide notes will give us some insight into what they did. You know, something. Hopefully, to get a better understanding of this. Yeah, I don't even like watching Fox News, though. I watch Fox News only because if I have to choose between the lesser of all evils, when it comes to the mainstream media, if I have to choose between the lesser of multiple evils, I'm going to choose Fox News. I say that Fox News is the least of all evils. I say that most of the mainstream media has too much Trump derangement syndrome to think accurately, right? And granted, I like when people can make a good argument against Trump, but usually they don't make a good argument at all. They usually make up things about him. They make up facts. That's for sure. Super Troopers asking, have you seen Laura Loomer's posts? I've not seen her posts. I have not seen her post at all, no. I might look into it, but I have not seen her posts at all. Not in any way.
In my opinion, I would be okay if they had a law where, like, I mean, I don't know. It does go against the First Amendment, right? So, like, I'm not even really, I guess I'm not really advocating for this, but I do think that, like, this is the reason why it's happening, is that basically inside of American media, they plaster a person's manifesto, all the photos of them.
That is true. I mean, they glorify these shooters way too much, way too often, and that is a major problem. That is the one thing I wish the mainstream media would stop doing. I feel like they glorify these guys way too often. Yeah. Bubba J says nobody should ever take another life. A lot of mentally ill people having access to weapons these days. So sad. I agree, Bubba J. It's extremely messed up, man. And I wish I had a good answer for you guys. I still don't. I'm still confused. We're going to cover this to the best of our ability. We're going to watch as many videos about this. We're going to try to understand the motives. But I want to let you guys know that this is not something to this There's too many people trying to emulate these terrible people doing these terrible things. It needs to stop. I would hope it would stop. I would like to believe there's an ounce of sanity out there. Sometimes I feel like I'm one of the few sane people in an insane world. I know that there's actual sane people out there. I know. But sometimes it feels isolating. No, Asmon's pretty cool, dude. I like Asmon. Asmon's pretty tight, man.
They do a biopic of them. It's basically, you know, being one of these like mass murderers, or at least an attempted mass murderer, is like an instant free ticket to infamy. And I think that the reason for that is the media ecosystem. And the media ecosystem rewards those people. And so somebody...
Yep, they get instant fame. Look at Netflix. Think about Netflix. How many documentaries were there on Netflix just about serial killers alone? A lot. There were a lot of documentaries about serial killers alone. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that wild? Yeah.
Who feels like they've been marginalized, they feel like they've been, you know, like not given a fair chance, their message isn't being, you know, like seen in the way that they want it to. This is the motivation for them to go out and do one of these shootings, because now they can get their message read out by everybody. They can, you know, like have people remember them, etc. And there's a lot of reward that you get out of that. That's everybody now? Yeah, and so that's why they do it. Natural born killers? No, they're not natural born killers. Like, I think that, like, I mean, somebody that goes and shoots up a school with, like, young children in it is mentally ill. Like, this is what...
Agreed. 100% agreed. That's extremely mentally ill. 100% agree. That is extremely, to the core, mentally ill. Yes. 100%.
What a person that's mentally ill would do. Like, average people, normal people don't do that.
Gift yum yum.
Hold on.
I'm dead. That's an afternoon in Chicago.
Bubba J just sent a gold coin. Thank you, Bubba J. Everybody give a shout out to Bubba J007 for sending a gold coin for 10 jewels. Mucho apreciado. Appreciate that big time, bro. But yeah, this is one of those stories, man, that just kind of shocks you a little bit to the core. And you kind of just don't know what to think. You get a little bit numb, you know, thinking. I mean, I try not to get numb to any of this stuff that's happening. I just am in a state of shock, you know. And I would like to know why this stuff happens, but at the end of the day, we all kind of have a decent idea of why this happens. Yeah. You guys, oh wow. Yeah. I don't see, you guys can still hear me. I decided to turn off the as a real-time denoiser that I'm using, because I have what do you call it in the background? It's a little fan sort of thing. I just want to say this is the more I look into this stuff, the more disturbed I get, for sure. And I would like to see, I don't know, a better I don't even know what I want to say on this one. Like I said, it's all very confusing.
Chicago? Yeah. Otherwise, they're not going to be the next Elon Musk, but they're desperate for people to know them. Yeah, exactly.
It's really just a way for them to feel significant. And here's the problem, is a lot of people don't feel significance anymore. A lot of it has to do with they feel like they don't have a future. They feel like there's not a lot of hope for them overall. And I think that's a big deal. I think that's a big part of why people feel and do what they do, is because they feel like they don't have an ounce of hope. And it's an understandable feeling, especially in the type of world that we live in today. But it makes sense why people do feel that way. I'm not saying, I don't know. I do know, but I don't know. You know what I mean? There's part of this you understand, and a part of it you don't. Instinctually speaking, I do understand that human beings need some form of significance. They need to feel significant. That's very true. How do you make human beings feel significant? Well, I think one way to make a human being feel more significant is just give them opportunities, help them discover a purpose. And I feel like a lot of young people feel like there's just no hope. You know, are we just going to be ruled over by AI? I get that feeling. Granted, I see AI a lot differently than most people, but I do have the ability to understand people's arguments and doubts and fear towards AI. I absolutely understand people's fear towards AI, surprisingly. Most people think I don't understand people's fears towards AI, but I completely understand. I may not agree with people's fears of AI. I don't. Granted, I do not agree with people's fears on AI. I don't think AI is that bad. But I do understand that there's going to be people out there that are afraid that they're not going to have a purpose in this life, and that they're just going to forever suck, and that they're not going to have anything to look forward to in this life. I gotta say, well, I get, because I remember when I was young, I felt like I wasn't going to have a purpose in life. I felt like my future was really uncertain, and I felt like I was just going to be shitty my whole life. And luckily I didn't. You know, I had a lot of opportunities that were presented to me, and I will say those opportunities really helped my self-esteem in life. And because my self-esteem was raised and I felt like I had some purpose, you know, I was able to get a lot done and feel, I don't know, like I could contribute beyond what I was, you know. Bubba J 007 says, a lot of people today never been shown love and affection. It was never taught to them. Yeah. True. Very true. Extremely true. Texas Jane is saying there's no telling what led up to this. Could have been drugs. Very much so it could have been. Barney Bell says I was tricked by Tucker. And Marjorie Taylor Greene trusted them and been watching for a long time. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Tucker's kind of gone off the deep end a little bit. I get that. Some people are off the bandwagon for Mr. Carlson, and can't say I blame him. Tuck, man. But yeah, let's keep watching Asman, man. Let's just see what Asman has to say.
There was an imam in a mosque that praised the October 7th attacks as well. Well, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people that support terrorism. We know that. I mean, it's pretty obvious. What is this here? Islamic Center San Diego, like me, Muslim America is targeted today, praying peace. Yeah, I mean, obviously, all of the Islamic identity politics people are going to start immediately playing for, you know, sympathy or something like this. We don't even know what the who the shooters were. Like, they could also be Muslim. Like, this is the thing. It's like, as soon as this happens, they're trying to pre-flight and craft a narrative, you know, proactively. Well, who knows? Never waste a crisis. Yeah. Not dead in a car near a scene. And an act of terrorism? Yeah, I mean, it is terrorism. It's a hate crime or terrorism, either one.
It's both. I mean, I think it's terrorism. It's a hate crime. That's what I think it is. It's a mixture of both. It's double. I think it's both. Ultimately, that's what I believe. You know, some people can agree with me on that. Some people can't. I don't know. It's up to you. You can disagree, agree, whatever you want to do. But yeah, I don't know. It's just sad, man.
Imam of the Terror Mosque. Is this? No, this is something else. This is from a long time ago.
At that mosque.
Have a nice day is saying. Have a nice day is saying Asmin Garza. Yep, it's a Michael Garza Show reaction to Asmin Gold 4-3.
Back to the breaking news we started this show with, the deadly shooting at that mosque in San Diego, the Islamic Center of San Diego. Multiple law enforcement officials just briefed, tell CNN that hate speech, bigotry was scrawled on one of the suspects.
There's going to be a press conference? Really?
Let's get right to CNN's Josh Campbell. Josh, tell us more.
Well, San Diego police said a short time ago they were treating this as a hate crime until it's not, is how the police chief described it. But we're getting these critical...
I think by default it's a hate crime. I mean, that's what I think. I think by default this fits every bill for being a hate crime. So I don't know how you could say otherwise. But give me a moment. Thank you guys for being so patient. Mucho apreciado. Oh man, you could hear everything right now. You could hear it all. Yeah. All right, hold on. There we go. Can you guys hear me a little better now? Hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better. Okay, I think we're back. Hold on. Sorry about that, you guys. I lost internet connection, but I think everything's connected again. Can you guys hear me? Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Bubba J, Frog Clinton News Network. Oh my goodness. We got Bubba J in the house, man. It's good to see you guys. Good to see. Well, we got Bubba J, of course. No sound? Are you sure about that? I think there's sound. By the looks of it, I could see that my audio meter's looking good, Bubba J. Let me see. It looks like audio's working. Can you guys hear me? If you understand what I'm saying, just say I understand what you're saying, or understood, you sound great, or I can't hear you. Let me know if you guys can hear me though. Can you guys hear me? Really? No sound? Wait, but my audio meter is showing that there is sound. There's only one way to find out if there's actually sound, if you guys are fucking with me here. We shall see. Hold on. There's only one way to find out if there's actually sound, if you guys are fucking with me here. We shall see. Oh, okay. You guys were screwing with me. Okay. Yeah, I can hear myself on there. Yeah, you guys are just messing with me. Okay. Oh, you had to pop out and pack in for sound. Okay, got ya. Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened, but my internet, well, my Ethernet, sometimes I have to reset my Ethernet adapter on my computer. So there are times where I have to get that all squared away. So I keep the Ethernet adapter thing going. Seems like it's working, though. Sometimes you just got to reset that adapter and everything's fine.
New details about the alleged suspects in this incident. Multiple law enforcement sources tell CNN that one of the suspects in the shooting took a firearm from their parents' home, left a suicide note that contained writings about racial pride.
Okay, let me see. All right, they might have more information about it with this. Let me open it up. Okay. Let's see what they say about it.
To the families of the 3 that are deceased because of the horrific actions of today. This is a city's and a community's absolute worst nightmare as a free society.
Oh, it's extremely messed up, man. It's extremely screwed up. It honestly just shouldn't be happening at all, but somehow it is, and friggin' A, man. Friggin'
I
A.
appreciate all of your patience as we try to work through and piece this scene back together again. I have some updated information that I want to make sure everybody has. At about 9:42 this morning, we received a call of a runaway juvenile.
Yeah.
After speaking with the mom began to piece together bits and pieces of information over an extended period of time. The information that she was gathering and conveying to us began to elevate the threat level that we were perceiving with this information. She believed her son was suicidal, and she began to share information that several of her weapons were missing.
Oh, jeez. That's why you gotta lock those things up, man. You need to lock those things up tight, and you better make sure that your children do not know the code. You need to chain lock that shit too. Holy smokes, man. Holy frickin' smokes, bro. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
Her vehicle was missing, in addition to her son. She also said that her son was with a companion, and that they were dressed in camo, and that is not consistent with what we would typically see from somebody that is suicidal.
Okay.
That began to trigger.
I mean, when somebody's suicidal, they got all sorts of things running through their head. There's no like one cookie cutter explanation I mean, it's pretty clear that the person was suicidal because, I mean, obviously they were also homicidal, sadly, but it's pretty clear that they were both homicidal and suicidal in that instance. Seems pretty obvious to me, at least, but whatever. Let's keep going.
A larger threat assessment picture. Our threat management unit began to take the tips and leads that we had and utilize the technology we have available to us. Our license plate readers was at the top of that list.
Yeah.
We began to have, we noted that there were hits with the vehicle down in Fashion Valley. We dispatched officers into the area of the mall as a possible location that was a threat. We also gathered information that one of the individuals was associated in some form or fashion with Madison High School.
Okay.
We alerted the school police department, and we dispatched officers into the area of Madison High School. While we were gathering this information and we were trying to zero in on where these individuals were at, we received the call at approximately 11:43 that there was an active shooter at the Islamic Center.
Okay.
Officers were in the area, still talking with mom, trying to piece together where they might be, the locations that she felt that they would be at. And that was just a few blocks away. Those officers, once they heard what was happening at the Islamic Center, immediately dispatched themselves to the mosque. And just to recap what we talked about earlier, when officers arrived on scene, they came across, in some form or fashion, 3 deceased individuals, victims. One was a security guard at the center.
What about the other 2?
Was he the big guy? We'll get some questions in just a minute, sir. Thank you. Because of what the officers were encountering and because we know that this is a large gathering facility with kids, with adults, with community members from throughout our county, officers immediately began to enter the facility, utilizing our active shooter protocol, looking for a suspect or 2. At about the same time as they were making entry and searching through the facility, room by room, we received calls of a vehicle a couple blocks away that was shooting at a landscaper. The landscaper's going to be okay, but we are still investigating that scene. It appears he may have been shot in the helmet that deflected and saved his life, but that is not totally confirmed at this point.
Yeah.
A couple blocks away.
It's just unreal, man. So Minji is saying, wait, the mom knew the target. I don't know if the mother knew the target, but it sounds like maybe. I've got no clue, but Texas Jane is saying I scrolled out and back in. Oh, that's right. You said there was no. Okay. This is crazy though, man. I don't know what to say. I still am very confused. It's extremely confusing stuff, and I wish I had a good answer for why all this happens. I don't. I'm not sure if I can. But yeah. What do you guys think? because I don't know what to think. Like I said, still confused. Still utterly confused. But I'm going to step away for a few moments, just a few moments. All right, we're back. Okay, here we go.
From there, we also received a call where a community member reported our 2 suspects in a vehicle, and it appeared they had gunshot wounds, and upon our arrival, we determined they were deceased.
Damn.
We're in the process of serving search warrants that will continue tonight and on into the days ahead. We're going to continue following any leads and any information that comes.
Larson Christopher, what's going on, my man? Everybody, we got Larson Christopher in the house. What up? Bubba J says, Mom, okay. So Bubba J said, sounded like Mom called to report guns and car was taken. And they got a call. Oh, okay. Then they got the call about the active shooter. Okay.
Forward.
I see what you're saying.
As we're all
I see what you're saying now.
Focused on figuring out how this happened and what could we have done to prevent it. I will end by saying it's not a cliche. If you see something, if you hear something, if you know something, that is an integral part of preventing things like this from happening. And it's an integral part for us to be able to take that information, utilize the tools that we have to try to prevent something like this from happening. So with that, I'm going to bring up Mark Remley from the FBI to discuss a little bit more information.
Great. All right, we got the FBI guy. He can let people know.
Thank you.
Well, so Min is saying the 3 are the one at the mosque and the 2 suspects. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to figure this one out too. I mean, a lot of this is extremely confusing.
Thank you all for coming. And thank you, Chief. My name is Mark Remley. I am the special agent in charge of the FBI San Diego field office. As was reported earlier, 3 adults have lost their lives in today's senseless act of violence. We also know that 2 teenage subjects responsible are also deceased.
Oh, also, okay, so it's 5 total.
The FBI is determined to uncover all the facts associated with this incident and learn why this shooting occurred at the Islamic Center of San Diego.
Yeah.
It's just a bloody shame, man. It's a bloody shame. So it sounds like 3 innocent people died. So there's a total of 5 people killed, including the shooters. So the 2 shooters killed themselves, I believe. And then there were 3 adults that got killed. So from what it sounds like, hopefully there were no children that were harmed. Hopefully none. The whole thing's just disturbing, man. It's screwed up. It's haunting. It's extremely haunting. Bubba J is saying, wait till we hear about the note. What's the, oh, I guess it's the suicide note.
Here's what we know at this time after our preliminary assessment and working closely with our law enforcement partners to gather evidence.
Okay.
Victim specialists deployed to the reunification center at 4125 Hathaway in San Diego. We're also having additional victim services personnel deploy from our headquarters in Washington, D.C. to assist with the families that have been impacted. Our bomb techs have cleared the vehicle associated with the subjects. We are in the process of interviewing family and friends of the subjects, and evidence response teams are gathering all the evidence from the scene for review. We will process everything as quickly but as meticulously as we can. We again thank you for your patience as we work through the scene. The FBI stands with the communities we serve, and our hearts weigh heavy for those killed and everyone who's subjected to this violence today.
Holy shit.
Shooting incidents like this not only impact those within the immediate vicinity, but everyone in the community also
sounds so
feels
odd during
the effects.
elections.
We will continue to coordinate with our law enforcement partners and work closely with them for as long as it takes until we
Didn't some
understand
guy
what
shoot up a
happened.
synagogue like less than a
We
month
will
ago?
leave no
This
stone
happens
unturned.
always.
We thank the public for your continued cooperation. As we continue to work through this active investigation, we ask that you send photos, videos, or any visual evidence or information you may have
How long till we
to
get a new civil war? Civil war?
FBI.gov//
What, just 'cause two retards tried to
Islamic
shoot up a
Center
place?
of San Diego shooting.
What are you talking about?
As I mentioned earlier, no piece of information is too small.
I mean, this doesn't represent
Everything helps us
anybody. It's
gather
just two
all the
retards.
relevant evidence we need to better understand
Like,
why
I mean,
this
let's be
horrific
honest,
incident
man.
occurred. So with that, I'm going
moron.
to turn it over to the mayor for some comments.
So nothing to do with politics? It probably has something to do with the religion.
Thank you.
Right?
A direct result of your leadership. Your leadership. Our Muslim brothers and sisters have been talking.
What is happening there? Somebody yelling?
Hag's mad. Hag's mad. Oh my God! Shut
Just
up.
people yelling in the background?
Shut
Oh, no, that's crazy.
up. They muted her? They should.
Approval rating that a fascist dictator with shit in his pants.
Oh, God.
Today, our city was shaken by a violent act of hate here at the Islamic Center of San Diego. And my heart is with every person that is impacted by this horrific tragedy.
I just
no
did not
one
even
in our city
address it.
should live in fear because of their identity,
Best way
their
to
faith,
do it.
or their place of learning. I'm grateful to the San Diego Police Department, our San Diego Fire Rescue Department, and our partners at the local, state, and federal level, all of whom showed up here to help with this investigation and this response and help to bring this threat to an end.
She's blaming Trump? Yeah, like, we
This
don't even know
tragedy
why
is
it's happened.
particularly hurtful to our Muslim community. As it comes together at the start of the Dhul Hijjah, one of Islam's holiest periods leading up to the Hajj and the Eid al-Adha, a time of deep faith, reflection, and unity. Hate has no home in San Diego. Islamophobia has no home in San Diego. An attack on any San Diegan is an attack on all San Diegans, and we will.
Agreed. I mean, look, this needs to stop. I mean, this has to stop at some point, man. It's gotta. Something has got to give. Something has got to give, bro.
Not stand for it in
Small wiener
America's
gang.
finest city.
Hey, thank you so much, Mithridates 7. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Mucho apreciado.
Let there be no misunderstanding. for anyone who would seek to bring this kind of violence to this city, you will be met with the full force of our law enforcement partnerships.
Yep.
And anyone who seeks to do harm here will understand the response will be swift and you will be brought to justice. In the meantime, I want to assure San Diegans, in particular our Muslim brothers and sisters, the San Diego Police Department will be guarding all of our local houses of worship with additional presence to assure your safety during this very, very tragic time. We'll be guarding other houses of worship and making sure that we anticipate and try and prevent the very worst. We didn't meet that mark today, but I have deep gratitude to the security officer who was here, whose actions and heroism undoubtedly saved lives. And I'm grateful to every law enforcement individual.
And we should we should congratulate, even though what happened was I don't even know what to say, man. Hopefully we get more information, because I do want to find out more about what happened. It's messed up. It's disturbing. Freaks me out, man. That's all I gotta say. Mr. Larson says, and the religion with a worldwide divide, the Shia versus Sunni war. Yep. Exactly. Freaking wild, man. Let's keep going.
Who ran toward this call to help bring these people to justice. My prayers and my thoughts and our whole hearts community is with the Islamic Center of San Diego and all Muslim San Diegans. With that, I'll turn it back to our chief.
Think I take questions?
Before I open up to questions, we're a little over 5 hours outside of this incident. Understand the complexity of and the dynamics of a situation like this and the emotions that are without a doubt behind.
I like that he's setting the expectations, letting people know that, look, we have not concluded this investigation. We're not done with it. We're still trying to find out what is happening here. And that's a good thing to let the media know in this instance, because they're gonna bombard this guy with so many questions, and it's probably gonna be a little overwhelming. So let's take a listen.
Everything that's going on. Much of what else there is to answer is currently being investigated, and I cannot go into some of those details. But I will do my best to try to make sure that you guys have the information you need moving forward.
So with that, I don't know what happened.
Up to some questions.
I think people are just inventing.
Hang on. Trevor, go ahead.
Sources who say that there were anti-Islamic writings found inside the vehicle. You talked about how you received information from your mother prior to the shooting. Is any of that information indicative of how he might...
He's asking if there were any anti-Islamic writings.
Yeah, we are actively investigating this as a hate crime. There are details and information that we are investigating as to exactly what those, what the hate speech or the hate words were that were conveyed. Yeah. Some of that is going to have to take more time to develop further to see where that information's coming from. But yes, it's being investigated as a hate crime at this point. There was definitely hate rhetoric that was involved.
That was found inside the...
Tell us about the shooter.
Involved. I'll leave it at that for now. Yes.
Chief, what about
2 dead retards?
We had heard earlier reports that he engaged with these guys in some gunfight. Is that true?
It's still preliminary. We're still looking into that. We do believe the security guard.
The thing is, there's going to be a lot of rumors. It's going to be a lot of fake information, I think, that's going to come out. And the problem is we have AI nowadays, so there's going to be a lot of crazy fake information that comes out about all this that's happening. It's not going to be real. It's going to be fake as hell. Sometimes you don't even know what to trust half the time when it comes to a lot of this information. So it'll be interesting to see how this all gets handled. Still a bloody shame, man. Still a bloody shame that all this even had to happen. It's pretty sick. It's disgusting, and to be honest, I wish it made more sense. I wish it did. But sometimes things like this just don't make sense, and you want it to. You wish it could. You wish it would. But it's just one of those things that I just think it's not always going to make sense. And, nothing I could really say can make people feel better about this. Because, if I was a parent, I would have trouble sending my kid to school, to a public school, for example. I feel like a lot of public schools these days are, I wouldn't exactly say very safe, in my opinion. I just think that's, whether you agree with that statement or not, I just don't think sending kids to a public school is safe anymore. I don't think it's been for the last 10 years, for God's sakes. Because it's really a roll of the dice, it feels like. You never know what. But I wish what I was saying was false. But I understand why more kids are getting pulled out of public schools and being homeschooled. And it makes perfect sense to me. It makes complete sense to me why kids are being put in private schools and why kids are being homeschooled. Because, to be honest, it's like, why would you want to send your kid to a school where there could be some active shooter? You know what I mean? I understand why there's a mass exodus of the public school system. And honestly, the same thing could, in a sense, happen at a private school too, But, there's a lot. Most parents obviously have no other choice but to put their kids into a public school, and that's understandable. I'm not gonna lie, I had to go to public school. Wasn't that bad. It sucked, it wasn't perfect, but I will say that the time in high school helped me become the man I am today. Somebody who's very resilient. That my time in high school, while it was a tough one for me, it was actually, it made me who I am today, oddly enough. And I've started to realize I should be thankful for my past. I should be. And I should be. Absolutely 100%. That's what I believe.
Was able to help at least minimize the situation to the front area of the mosque. Until we know more, I don't want to speculate, but at this point, I think it's fair to say his actions were heroic, and undoubtedly he saved lives today. Yes, ma'am. I don't have details, but yes, the call came in as a runaway, and then it kind of elevated as mom began to kind of piece together what she was finding with her son being missing. She came She realized that she was missing weapons, multiple weapons. Her vehicle was missing.
Not good.
There are.
And this is one of the reasons why I keep saying lock up your weapons. I know that she probably had them locked up, but maybe not well enough. You need to make sure that your weapons are completely locked up. Completely 100% locked up. That is a big deal. You must keep them on lock and key. Okay? Very important. Very, very important. Because you never know what is going through your child's head. Right? You just don't know. Never assume. And if you're going to have a ton of weapons, you better make sure that you lock that shit up. Safety first. Safety fucking first.
Details that she was beginning to develop a bigger picture as to what she was dealing with, was conveying that to our folks, and we were trying to put that together and get out in front of this as quickly as we could.
And did she specifically find a suicide note there?
She found some note left by him. What that note looks like, what that note says, I'm not going to disclose right now. Yes, sir.
Search warrants were issued. Those warrants were issued, but there was a need for it.
Search warrants that we're going to be serving, I'm not going to put that information out right now. No. Some of that information, that's what we're actively looking and investigating right now. Obviously, we have a lot of questions. Is what led up to this moment, and that will be ongoing in this investigation as we move forward.
How far inside the teenagers were you getting?
Are race groups?
I'm sorry?
Government, American policy to influence? I feel like this is just two guys that did a shooting. Not everything is part of a grand conspiracy, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people are just saying, like, and this is what's really pissing me off is so many people think that there's like some big old conspiracy, and it's like, not necessarily. That's not always the case. You know what I mean? Like, it's not always. Somebody was saying earlier that it was that they thought it was a psyop and stuff like that. I just think that this is a terrible thing that's happening, and I mean, how do you cover something like this, man? How do you cover it? It's not easy to cover. It's extremely difficult to cover something like this. It really is. I mean, straight up, man. Straight up.
Sometimes it's just two idiots doing something stupid.
We've just basically notified family of those victims. We're not going to put out their identity right now.
You sure? No. Nobody else should be either.
We will put that information out here in the days ahead, but for now we're not putting that information out. We're trying to protect kind of what we have. There's more work to be done, and we want to make sure that we're preserving some of that for the moment. Yes, ma'am.
Provide specific identifying information, but can you tell us anything about their roles at the Islamic Center?
I'm going to let Imam Taha answer that type of question. I don't know for sure.
Can you share anything more about the relationship between 17 and 19?
17 and
it's two dumb fucks, not conspiracy.
Yeah, I think it's 18. And
maybe it's
correct. I think I put out earlier it was 19. I believe it's 18.
I mean, there's no evidence for that right now.
No.
They both read the whole both
Unknown. At least one, but unknown about the other one.
Okay.
It just in general, well, I think
sounds like it happened in Austin 2 days ago.
It's fair to say that all religious facilities across this country, around the world, in today's world, are well aware of the risks that are associated. It's an unfortunate reality of the world we live in today. But I would say absolutely, everybody feels that insecurity.
More about the hate crime investigation? Are these materials anti-Islamic? Were they anti-immigrant? Can you share anything more about the
Well, first, let me make sure I'm clear. There was no specific threat especially no specific threat to the Islamic Center. It was just general hate kind of speech that I think covered a wide gamut. I don't want to go into any of the specifics at this point. Again, we are still actively investigating this as we speak, but it was more generalized.
What is it, terrorist act, not high crime? It's so funny to see all the different groups
in some
of
form
people,
or capacity,
like getting mad that like, how do they know it's a hate crime? How do they know it's not?
Well, it's pretty obvious it's a crime. It's pretty obvious it's a violent act. Now, do we know what the motive is? We can assume hate crime, sure. Absolutely, we can. Do we know the accuracy, the validity of that? I don't know. We don't know yet. We just don't know. But yeah, this happens in America a little too often, a little far too often. And it's not good. Just not good. It's disturbing. It's messed up. If we're going to be frank and honest with each other.
A
terrorist attack.
We're not sure.
We don't
just
know.
Yet.
Like, how do you? Nobody knows.
So the question is, was there a specific threat to the high school? There was no specific threat to any facility or any place with what we knew. There was generalized hate rhetoric and speech. Mom believed that her son was suicidal, but the additional bits of information led us to believe that there was a bigger threat picture here that we needed to consider.
You look at those kids' internet history.
Honestly, look at their social media posts, look at their internet history, try to figure out like what were they into, what were they doing, like what were their interests, their hobbies, that sort of thing. And I think you probably get to the bottom of this a lot faster than you would realize. You know, I think you would get to this a lot faster than, one could ever realize. But that's just me. That's my thought process behind it. Ultimately, it depends on, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that's do you guys think that's a loser take on my end, or do you guys think it's a smart one? I don't know. I would like to think that I got some good takes from time to time, but sometimes I am lacking a good take, for sure. It's kind of wild.
One person that's suicidal is not going to take 3 weapons from a location. Those little bits of information were significant and important that triggered a much bigger threat assessment that began to bring additional.
Yeah, I think, look, it's just one of those things that I guess it just blows my mind, man. I just don't really know what else to say sometimes. It's just a little too wild for me, I guess. And I like to try to take it all in and really understand what the heck is going on, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just can't. And I don't know.
Investigators in to utilize the technology that we have available to try to get out in front of what we feared would be coming.
Yeah.
But there was no specific threat to this center or any religious facility or any school or any mall in any way. I want to make sure that's clear. We don't get that wrong.
3 weapons, right? You spoke about the landscape where it was shot at. Is that confirmed that these shootings are related, or is that something you're still investigating?
It's probably not related.
We're still investigating, but yes, we do believe that's all associated with the larger picture of today's events. It's not. They're not separate. Sir, go ahead.
So, Chief, I want to know, and I'm hopefully watching this too. How do you better protect these sites of worship? What strikes in your office to protect the state?
Yeah. So, first of all, this is why we need the community. This is a partnership. Public safety is a shared responsibility.
Yeah.
It is important that people share information when they see, hear, or know something that pertains to threats of violence.
Yeah.
That is what allows us to filter through who is going to cause harm and who is not. So that information is priority one.
You know when you're going to reopen the mosque?
Okay.
I'll let Imam Taha speak to that.
Chief, just a clarification. The mother that you're speaking about, mother of the younger juvenile or the older?
It's the younger one, right?
The younger.
Yeah. I mean, because the
right,
other one
listen,
wouldn't
folks,
be a juvenile, right?
We'll sit here all night and go question and answer. We will provide more information when more information is available and we have more of the information confirmed that we're now starting to speculate on.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that you have the details thus far so that you understand exactly what we were responding to, what we were dealing with. And I'll close by saying this.
Was it
our
Muslim
hearts go out
crime?
to the
Nobody
families.
knows.
Obviously, the greater Muslim community.
Everybody's trying to create a narrative. Nobody knows.
We're one city.
Just give
and
it
we're
some
one
time.
Community.
You're not going to have all the information immediately.
As police chief, I am grateful that we have police officers and sheriff's deputies from throughout this county that dropped what they were doing and didn't do just what they were trained to do. They did what we hired them to do, to step into harm's way, to be willing to run towards gunfire.
And that's amazing. That right there is amazing. Like, those are heroes, man. I mean, those guys are heroes through and through. It's pretty obvious at that point, you know. Those are the real heroes, dude. The police officers who heard gunfire, ran towards it. That's wild. Those are brave dudes. Those are brave ladies and men. Very brave.
To protect people they don't even know. And so with that, thank you for your patience. And we will be back out in the days ahead with more information. Thank you.
Well, there it is.
All right, listening in there to an update from San Diego police about this deadly shooting.
This is the way I see it, right? Is I don't know who this guy is. Probably some other, like, the guy, the leader from the mosque or something. Yeah, there it is. Google hate crime is targeted towards people of a certain ethnicity. A terrorist attack is broader on the spectrum, so it's a hate crime. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, people can go back and they can reframe it however they want. But at the end of the day, it's too, I mean, like, terrorism, hate crime. I mean, it seems like it was probably motivated by identity. It seems that way. I mean, like, there's literally no evidence that doesn't point to that direction. So it's hard to say. I really don't know.
I think it's pretty obvious.
I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens here. But yeah, I'm going to take a break and relax. I'll talk about this for a little bit, but you know, then I'm going to go and probably eat some food. And I wonder how generalized the hate messages are. Yeah, I mean, like, we don't really know what he said. We don't know why he said it or what the reasoning was. So, I mean, a lot of people are trying to, like, you know, come out and, like, have a narrative, right? They're trying to craft a narrative, like, this is, you know, like, right-wing violence on Muslims. This is, you know, done by Israel. I don't think anybody really knows. It seems like, I mean, very obviously, you know, there's not a lot of mosques out there, and so it's pretty easy to tell that this was probably targeted, right? But at the same time, you don't know why, what was the reasoning, who was doing it, or anything. I mean, in my opinion, this is the same thing I've said before about, like, I think it was a trans shooter or something like that, is that when you go into a school full of young children to kill them, your reasoning, I don't think really matters a lot.
Yeah, I think you're just a psychotic killer, psychotic person if you're doing stuff like that. Because you're clearly a psychopath overall, is what it boils down to. Holy crap, man.
And the reason why is that a person that does that is so profoundly mentally ill and deranged and evil that they're not like, you know, you have the spectrum of like conservative to liberal. Like, these people aren't on that spectrum. They're on a totally different spectrum. They're crazy. And so, like, you're trying to assign rational indicators to a person who does not have a sound mind.
Yeah.
And when you do that, guess what? You're going to have a lot of misfires. You're going to have a lot of mistakes.
True.
So yeah, I don't know what the reasoning is on it or anything else. I have no idea. You can't make rational sense out of irrational. What's generalized hate speech? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It could be anything. It could be like 4 or 5 different things.
Yeah.
So Americans have been arrested in Japan for harassing Punch Monkey as a part of crypto monetization. One of them jumped into Habitat. Good.
Oh,
Put him in jail for 30 years. Fucking annoying. Yeah, the shooters were weapons stolen from her teen were missing. Search warrants are being served now. Holy fuck. The mosque was shot up today. People want the mosque ones. I mean, I don't know why, like, the mosque was supposedly shot up today. I don't... Like, can we just, like, it's just, people are...
Oh, Laura Loomer. Oh my god, she's stupid. Laura Loomer is beyond insane. I mean, Laura Loomer is an insane person. Like, she's straight up out of her freaking gourd. The more I hear from Laura Loomer, the more I'm like, oh, God. Hell no. No, she's awful. Laura Loomer's terrible, dude. I can't stand that wench.
Are so annoying. They're so annoying. I don't understand this at all. Bad news about the Epstein file. Oh yeah, people might not like that. Mosque shooter guy hasn't been named. They're already blaming a white racist guy. Jesus Christ. Every single time there's a tragedy, everybody is just clamoring to fucking figure out who they can blame it on.
That's true. Who do we blame it on this time? I don't know. Does it really matter? It's just psychosis. I mean, you could blame if we were to try to blame something. I mean, we could see if, you know, obviously these people were mentally ill that did what they did. I mean, you have to be mentally ill to do this, but were they on psychotic drugs? Well, I should say antipsychotic drugs. What kind of drugs were they on? What were they writing down? Who were their doctors? Talk to their doctors. Figure out what kind of bullshit they were prescribing them, you know what I mean? Because I'll tell you what, sometimes all it takes is a bunch of combinations of certain things to make somebody snap. That happens. That really does happen, unfortunately. So, you know, it's something to consider. It's the way I see it.
Oh my god, it's so exhausting, bro. Like, it's so tiresome.
I agree.
Jesus Christ.
I agree.
We don't know. Just wait. Just give it a few hours, man. Who's this? Are you planning to be back on later? No. No. No, absolutely not. Let me see if there's any more of this. No, it's not even on there.
Bitcoin Bernoulli is wondering, wait, why am I green? You are a member of the Michael Garza Show. I think you, if I remember correctly, Bitcoin Bernoulli, I think you were gifted a channel membership. I can't remember who gifted the membership to you, but you were gifted a membership. But no, you're basically a member of the show. Congratulations. You know, it doesn't. If I remember right, I don't think it auto renews. So you are more than welcome to renew the membership at any time you wish. You're never obligated. to be a member, but you do get exclusive content. You get exclusive content that is made by Michael Garza. And, yeah. Well, the only way to get a free membership is to either A, get it gifted to you, or, I don't know. There's many ways. There's many ways, Vacation Time. Many.
The optics are all that matters? Yeah, I think so. Do you want me to call the Islamic Center of San Diego a shooter at an Islamic Center? You mean a mosque? What? Muslims just got shut up in San Diego by a Tommy Robinson fan? What does Tommy Robinson have to do with this?
Everybody on the Twitter's trying to figure out what's happening, man.
Jesus Christ. This guy makes shit up constantly. Yeah, I don't know. People are probably blaming Israel, right?
They're blaming something.
Never let a good tragedy go to waste. Junior lies about most things. Yeah, I think that, like, what they should do for people that are just, like, constant misinformation peddlers is they should replace the check mark with a clown emoji. A clown face.
That would be a good one. I like that. Clown world, baby.
I do. I think it's so annoying. They're so obnoxious. I feel bad for the mother if she knew her car. Yeah, I mean, again, like, it was... You realize the Islamic Center hosted 2 of the 9/11 attackers? Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I still don't think that you should, 25 years later, go into that same place and then try to kill 8-year-olds in there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's not... Like, I don't know what you're trying to add to the conversation by saying that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I will admit, some of Asmund Gould's viewers are kind of low IQ people. I wouldn't say, well, maybe a good majority might be, but some of them, I will say, are low IQ individuals.
Yeah, they shouldn't have hosted those guys. And you can have a conversation about, whether, like, they're terrorists or whether they're supporting terrorism or anything else. But you can have that conversation at the same time as saying that, yeah, you shouldn't go into a fucking school and try to kill the kids and shoot random security guards. I mean, let's fucking,
exactly.
Don't allow your mind to be... Don't allow your mind to be colonized by third worldism, right? Don't let that happen. Like, it is third worldism. Whenever, like, one of the core tenets of third worldism is that you treat distaste with something or frustration with something, and you respond to it with violence.
Like, yeah, that's pretty much it. And that's you see that from the, I'm not gonna lie, you see that from the left all the time, and they do that so much. It's insane. It's really insane.
Like, this is something that, again, this is something that every third world country basically is a victim of.
Vacation Time, just pay the 99 cents, bro.
And if you look at it, like, and you look at, like, the way that they solve problems over there, and every
Vacation Time, just pay the 99 cents a month, bro. Become a channel member, fool. Become a damn channel member. It's wild how much you see that tendency for violence. Exactly. It is wild, especially overall, very much so.
Everything. That is probably one of the core issues, is that it's the fixation around using violence as a problem-solving technique. No, you can't do that. How much do you believe your ideology translates to the real world for the average 9-to-5 Taco Bell manager? Are they all just cooked? Well, I don't know. It depends. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing's your fault. Everything deserves justifies violence. The world needs to adapt to me. Third worldism in a nutshell. Yeah, exactly. Like, don't allow your mind to be colonized by that ideology. And I think that this happens in...
And agreed, honestly, it's a BS ideology, you know? You don't want to be taken over by that train of thinking, that line of thinking, you know what I mean? It's like... You just don't, dude.
Side of America a lot, and it's a huge problem. Like, fundamentally, you know, if you're unhappy with something, there is a process to solving that and to dealing with it. But you can't just go in, like, if everybody was angry, every time that they got angry, they get to go and shoot someplace up, everything would be getting shot up all the time.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have some ability to hold back. And that's the one thing that a lot of leftists these days think, that if they think that something's evil, they think they have this default right to basically go destroy it. It's not true. You don't have that right. You can't just be violent towards someone or something just because you feel justified in your own delusional head. You can't just do that. And I think you know that you just can't do that. You know what I mean? But yeah, it just seems like there's such a huge tendency towards violence with a lot of the crazy side of the left, you know? And it's wild, man. They're just so prone to violence.
Time, and everybody'd be getting killed. Like, it would be chaos. So you can't allow a world like that to exist. Unfortunately, I'm so radicalized against Islam as a whole, I can't find myself upset with this. Any ideas how to get past this? I mean, the security guards might have not even been Islamic. The guys are probably just working security. They might just be hired from a private company.
That's also probably pretty true. That could be very true, actually. Because you can't just leave that out of the equation, you know. Got to have that in the equation at some point, you know.
And they got killed for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it doesn't even have anything to do with it. And also, another thing is that a lot of these, like, super bigoted, crazy people that, like, go out on these shooting rampages, they'd shoot you, too. Like, just because you, you know, they might dislike Islam, they'll probably find something else to dislike you for, too.
Yeah.
Because that's what crazy people do.
Yep. Exactly. Oh, yeah.
That's why the mom immediately called the police. Probably it's because she put two and two and two and two together, right? I mean, that's it. So they're hateful people. Yeah, they're hateful, deranged people. So never think that one of these shooters, whenever the shooter is aligned with your ideology, never think that one of these people is on your side or is some sort...
Very true. A violent person will probably be violent towards many types of people. Even their own kind. That's very, very true. I'm telling you, man, Asmund Gould is basically like the philosopher of our time, of our generation. That's what I believe, at least. I love Asmund Gould, dude. Asmongold is the man, bro.
Of, you know, misunderstood actor, they would probably kill you too. The mind of a person that goes into a school to shoot 8-year-old children
is a mentally deranged one.
Is not something that you can find any common ground with. You can't
not even in the slightest, man. Not even in the slightest.
Understand the way a person like that thinks. So the more that you try to go and, you know, like reverse engineer what their reasoning is, the more...
It's just sad that there are people trying to justify... There are some people trying to justify this. Not a lot, thank goodness, but there's always going to be those disgusting people who who go out on the internet and say what happened. They'll say these terrible things, and but everybody's just trying to figure out who to blame, you know. Where do we point the finger? You know, who do we point it at? We'll see.
Or do you just put yourself at a disadvantage? Is it actually compromise our side? I mean, maybe, yeah, I don't know. And also, like, you just can't, I mean, even if you don't like Islam, or you don't like Muslims, or you don't like Jews, or you don't like Israel, you just can't go around shooting Jews and Muslims. We can't do that. We can't do it. That's not the way we do things around here. Sorry.
Yeah, just because you disagree, and you know what? You know what people do in the third world when they disagree with each other? You know what they do? They hurt each other, and it's not right. It's not okay. That is third world behavior. That is third world thinking. All right? We're better than this. We're better than this. We're better than that crap. All right? When we disagree with people, we should not be using violence. No violence, man. I'm just sick and tired of people thinking that violence is the answer. No, how about this? Debate. Use your words. If you want to disagree with somebody, use your words. Straight up, dude. It's not hard.
Sorry. I mean, Jesus. Yeah, period. Yeah, there's no asterisk to that. Is this considered political violence? I'd say, I mean, it's
100%, yeah.
It's a hate crime. You could say it's like it. Sure.
It's a hate. It's political violence one way or another. I think a hate crime is. I think it's all the above. I think it's a hate crime.
I mean, you could say that maybe. Like, you could say maybe it's terrorism. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, these definitions are very specific.
But no, I do think that that's the kind of... I mean, these kind of behaviors that we're seeing in America with people shooting each other like this, that's third world behavior. It is third world behavior, and it's gotta stop. It's gotta end at a certain point, man. This has gotta end at a certain point, man. I don't know what else to tell you guys.
Specific, but like overall, I think that it's obviously ideologically motivated.
Yes. It is.
If you want to win an argument, you attack your opponent's argument. It's not a person. You attack a person, you lost by default. Yeah, for sure. Everyone should condemn political violence.
Yeah. You have to attack the idea, right? You have to debate the idea. You can't just attack the person. It's not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it. Not the way to do it at all. I think most people are hopefully aware of that, but then again, who the hell knows?
Violence and violence. The only time violence is appropriate is in self-defense or in defense of others. Yeah, I think you're right about that. But I think right now, nobody really knows what happened. I mean, there's no certainty for it. This is just the names of the people, but that's it. What are people saying about this? Mario Vasquez and Fuentes, the white supremacists? This is just, it's, oh my God. There's not two sides of this. There's like 5. Sounds like Muslim on Muslim crime. Nothing special. I don't know why that is. Yeah, it's...
Yeah, we should be waiting for the verified updates. You know, we could speculate all we want, and chances are we'll probably be wrong. I say let's get more information, and let's decide for ourselves. Does that sounds pretty good to me. Wouldn't you say? I mean, let's get a little more information. Let's decide for ourselves, you know, based on the information that comes out and based on the information that we can get a hold of and stuff like that. I mean, come on, man. I don't know. It's just, I feel like people got the wrong idea on all this.
Wow. Kane and Caleb, good job. Yeah. Dumbass kids, cowards killed themselves. You should be happy. It's good. Yeah, there's not really a lot of information about this that you can really say. Identified, says hate rhetoric is involved. Yeah, we'll see what it is. Man. Well, there it is. You don't need to stop trying to find things to point fingers at. Yeah, this isn't a left or right versus issue. I don't think in a lot of cases it is. It's the same thing I said with the synagogue or anything else, right? Or like any of the trans shooter that went to the school. Like, the people are just nutballs. That's really it. They're nutballs.
Exactly. It's just crazy people. It's unfortunately crazy people doing crazy things. And, you know, when does it come to an end? I don't know. I would love to see the craziness come to an end at a certain point, but when does it really end? I couldn't tell you guys. I couldn't tell you.
And it's just a bunch of people like Laura Loomer, Mehdi Hassan. Like, it's all about an identity war. It's all about an ideology war. It's not about what even happened. Like, they don't even know why they shot him. They don't know who the people are. They don't have a picture of them. And these people are like writing out entire fucking, you know, a synopsis of like what this means politically. It's just so exhausting and annoying. These people are obnoxious. I hate it. Yeah, that's propaganda. It's a propaganda war. It's such a massive propaganda war. It's so annoying. I hate it.
Propaganda. It's just 5 levels. I'll tell you what it really is. It's multiple factions of people who believe in specific propagandas, who believe in specific conspiracies, and they want to throw all them out on the table. You know, the person that's saying it's a psyop is going to throw it out there as a psyop. The person who wants it to be a hate crime is going to throw it out there as a specific hate crime. We don't really know. It could be just about anything. And sometimes this stuff gets a little exhausting, you know. It's terrible. It really is terrible, though, man.
See it all the time, and I'm just so tired of seeing it. I'm ex-Muslim. I hate nothing more than Islam. Yeah, I understand that. There's a lot of people, like one of the shootings in, not to say Iran, but no, it was in, what do you call it?
Crazy, man. Well, I guess we could watch this real quick. Extremely bad. I just want to take a break from that school shooting stuff, man. It messes with your mind. It's terrible. I feel nothing but empathy for those parents, though. I may not be a parent myself, but it's gut-wrenching. It's gut-wrenching, man.
Been sent to Pakistani mediators to present, warning the clock is ticking down for a peace deal. Reports now the commander-in-chief will hold a situation room meeting with his top advisors tomorrow on potential next steps to bring an end to the conflict. Now, we do know from the president
we'll see if there is.
that military action is on the table.
We'll see if there will be.
I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. Iran Stadia media reporting a new 14-point peace plan has been sent to Pakistani mediators to present to the United States. And it does not appear the Iranian counterproposal mentions conceding key parts of their nuclear program, which we know is a key demand.
Oh, great. So Iran sent another plan, and it doesn't mention the nuclear situation. It doesn't mention the fact that here's my problem with Iran in this instance. Look. Okay, so here's my main problem with Iran on this one. They keep putting out these peace proposals and these peace plans, yet none of these peace plans include the what's the word? None of these plans include the elimination of a future nuclear program. They should not be allowed to have any uranium. Period. End of story. No way in hell. You know. They just shouldn't be allowed, man. They just shouldn't be allowed. No uranium, bro.
For President Trump. Yesterday, the president posted this: for Iran, the clock is ticking and they had better get moving fast or there won't be anything left of them. Time is of the essence. Here's Fox News senior strategic analyst General Jack Keane.
Where they're coming from is they believe they can stick with this and run the clock out. And that's what they're trying to do right now, even with modifying their negotiating position. They want to run this clock out, increase the political economic pressure on the president.
They're going to try to run it down, man.
They just don't care about the suffering of people. The president has exhibited a huge amount of patience here since the ceasefire on April 8th. And we've tried to work a deal with these guys, and it just doesn't seem possible.
I agree.
A new opinion piece on how to finish the job in Iran has this, quote, if the regime refuses to capitulate...
Mr. Bob, what's going on, brother? He's BBT Bob says Muhammad ethically, yes. Your choice if you want to be religious or not. Also, Garza, to go to bed. Yeah, I honestly think this is going to be I think this is going to be the last video that I react to. Yeah, I think this is going to be the last video that I react to for the rest of the night. Overall, it's good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Let's keep rolling.
Trump will have to deploy the full spectrum of U.S. power, end of quote. The U.S. blockade in the Strait of Hormuz has crippled Iran's economy. We know that. In fact, it's so bad that they're having to face shutting in their wells. They can't pump them to keep going. And if you can't take oil out, that increases the danger that you might not be able to use some of those wells again. Early signs of the fuel crisis emerged over the weekend as unemployment and inflation are skyrocketing. It's prompted major discontent among the Iranian citizenry, who have continued.
I think the Iranian citizens are going to try to rebel against the Iranian government. I really do think that that's going to be something that happens. I really do. I think it's going to happen sooner than we think. So don't be surprised if there's a massive rebellion. Do not be surprised if there is some type of actual rebellion. Because I think it's going to happen, man. I think it's going to happen. But what do you guys think?
To hold protests at this point. We're covering all of the angles on all of this. Retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gobb will join me in moments. First, though, senior foreign correspondent Trey Yingst is on the ground in Tel Aviv, Israel. Trey.
Harris, good morning. While the region waits to see if the war will resume in the days ahead, diplomatic efforts are playing out. Iran reportedly sent a revised proposal to Pakistani mediators aimed at addressing some of the gaps in their previous response that President Trump called a piece of garbage.
Well, yeah, it's because most of these proposed peace plans that keep coming from Iran are absolute trash, dude. Trump has to keep throwing these in the trash because they're just not going to work. They're just not good peace plans. They're not worth it. They're just crappy. And that's all there is to it. You know, if they would send, you know, something worthwhile, then sure. But yeah, they're just not sending anything that's worth it. So Trump is not acknowledging it as anything that's even worthwhile. So you can't really blame Trump. They're not sending him anything that's even remotely intelligent as far as it goes, you know. I don't know. That's just the way I think.
Therefore, from the very day after we sent our points to the American side via Pakistan, we were faced with a series of proposals from the other side, which have been reviewed over the past few days. As was announced yesterday, our own views have in turn been conveyed to the American side.
This comes as the economic situation inside of Iran is getting worse each day due to the ongoing U.S. blockade of Iranian ports.
Yeah, and I do think that the Iranians I want to see the Iranians rebel against the Iranian government. I really do. I want there to be some sort of revolution. And I think that if they can topple the existing Iranian regime, this war is over. Cut off the snake's head. And then everything's good.
Says more than 80 commercial vessels have been redirected and 4 were disabled to enforce the blockade.
The economic situation is very, very bad. I mean, for 3 months now, the situation has completely deteriorated. Ever since these protests happened and the dollar price went up. Then, after the war started, the shop was basically closed for nearly a month. And now the situation is extremely bad.
Yeah.
A senior Israeli official speaking to Fox News over the weekend said early signs of a developing fuel crisis started emerging over the weekend, including long lines at gas stations and growing public discontent over fuel shortages and distribution problems. Prices continue to rise, unemployment is climbing, and inflation is accelerating sharply. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent
I think it's going to keep accelerating, unfortunately.
And called this week for the U.S. allies around the world to increase their economic pressure on the Iranian regime.
We call upon all our G7 and indeed all of our allies and the rest of the world to follow the sanctions regimes so that we can crack down on the illicit finance that is fueling the Iranian war machine and get this money back to the Iranian people.
Yep.
The U.S. military buildup across the region.
I think the Iranian people need a change in their regime. They absolutely do at this point, you know. Will it happen? Who knows?
Continues each day with more transport planes arriving in the Middle East. Harris.
Trey Yinks, thank you very much. Retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gobb, a Black Hawk helicopter pilot, battalion commander, and international military strategist, is in focus now. Good to see you.
Give me another moment, you guys. Sorry about that.
Look, I made some notes as Trey was reporting. First of all, if we don't hit Iran's military very soon, is it time to just go home at this point and count up the victories that we've already had?
Yeah, good morning, Harris. Good to see you, too. I think that's probably option A and option B, which is option A being that Trump follows through with the threats of use of force again, which would be unfortunate. But at this point, it's the only language the Tehran dictators know.
It is. It really, really is. And silver drop. Silva is dropping. I don't know why crypto's going up though. Overnight markets are going cray cray. How's my overall portfolio? Oh, my portfolio's fine. I have one of the most diversified portfolios.
Option B would be, we've done what we can. We hope the Iranian people would step forward, and more of our allies around the world would step forward as well. But if they don't, then it may be time to say, okay, let's redirect ourselves onto different priorities.
So Stinson is saying China gave Donald the green light on Iran. China needs oil too. Yeah, absolutely, man. Who doesn't, man? Everybody needs oil, bro. Everybody needs that oil. So everybody's kind of doing whatever they want to do to get it,
And see what happens here and do the best we can, because we can use some force if needed, but we certainly don't need to put boots on the ground.
Look, things are not quite what they were when this war started. Things have been moving around us, and two things in particular: China and Russia. And we know that there are threats now for our NATO allies for Russia just over the weekend. Yeah. The reports of that are quite jarring, as Belarus is once again in the fold with troops being put there by Russia, according to reports. Your take on the landscape now if we don't finish the job in Iran?
Yeah, I think things continue to get more dangerous in some respects. We've seen a splintering a little bit between China and Iran based on President Trump's visit with Xi, knowing that China has said we're not going to keep supplying Iran, at least publicly. What that also does is create a bit of a faction potential split between Russia and China, where that
Stinson says, notice China never gets their hands dirty. True. Very true.
Solid allied relationship that seems to be out there isn't quite as strong as many would have imagined, as well as what's happening with, as you mentioned, between Russia, Belarus, and as that grows around Ukraine.
I think the problem is China thinks that they're stronger than they actually are. I don't think China is as strong as they claim to be.
And them looking at potentially a weaker NATO as a whole, and all of this comes down to potentially how much can America do at once, and what's truly in our strategic interests, and what is not?
Can you imagine that Russia would ever consider hitting our Western European NATO allies at this point? I mean, are they saber rattling, or what's happening?
I think it's very unlikely that they would do that. Europe is doing a good enough job, essentially, of destroying itself with this mass uncontrolled immigration and change of demographics. They're likely to let that go. And plus, they've shown what they can do, and they've had a hard time moving beyond where they're at in Ukraine already. To grow that now would actually put Russia at much greater risk than if they just tried to declare some form of victory in eastern Ukraine and also stopped.
It's just fascinating how these things touch each other because of those enemies that are so yoked together. Look, I want to get to this. I don't know if Iran's delusional about how bad their economy is, or if they legitimately just don't care.
Well, I would say the Iranian government's extremely delusional. The people obviously know that their economy's cooked. So I think hopefully the people understand that they need to make some sort of, I don't know, revolution. Now, it's easier said than done, obviously, but hopefully the Iranian people can find some sort of way to topple their existing terrible dictatorship of a government, you know? Stinson says there's presidential power, economic power, military power, and willpower of the people. America's number one in all those categories. Precisely. Absolutely.
But that terror regime is looking for a way out of the economic squeeze from our U.S. blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. We know that. And according to Bloomberg now, cargo trains are running from central China to Iran, have jumped from roughly one per week before the blockade now to every 3 or 4 days, highlighting a growing alternative channel as Iran is looking to blunt maritime pressure. The corridor runs through multiple countries, making it far more complex to disrupt than shipping lanes in the Persian Gulf. What do you make of this? And you just said China may be a little bit of a split. Seems like they're pretty glued.
Well, you know, China's very interested, of course, in Iran's success as their proxy because they need that oil from Iran in the first place. They've already lost the oil from Venezuela by and large. So that means cheap crude is not flowing into China as it used to be. So they need that, and that relationship is there because they're economically tied together. This was expected that Iran would look for alternate means to continue what they could do, but increasing a couple railroad trips, you know, a week is not going to make up for what the Strait of Hormuz is capable of doing from an economic standpoint. But we always knew Iran would look for alternate means to keep their economy and their military machines going because the two are very much tied together. I don't see it being super effective, but it is what they're going to do and continue to do. But we also have the capability to reduce that ability as well of China to keep supplying Iran.
I've been asking all of my military leadership guests this question. It's a yes or no and have to go quickly. If it were your decision tonight to go in and militarily move, what would you do? Yes or no, move in?
Yes, I would move in a limited capacity. Anything that doesn't put boots on the ground is what we can do. Okay. We should not be going in there with boots on the ground, though. We have air power for a reason.
Yeah, and that's where the Air Force comes in. You know, because if you can do bombardment strikes, if you could do airstrikes, and that gets the job done, then that gets the job done, man. No, I love what Trump's doing, man. I think that Trump's on the right path. A lot of people want to blame Trump, and that's fine. You guys could blame Trump all you want, do your thing, blah, blah, blah. But you got to realize, man, that Trump's kicking butt. Trump's kicking butt, man.
Use it to the best we can, and we'll see how the results turn out.
Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gobb, always great to have you in focus. Thank you. Be sure to like and subscribe.
But I do want to thank you guys for tuning into the show. Feel like we're improving the show all the time, man. The show just gets better and better, and you guys make the show more fun, more enjoyable. I'm a very lucky man to be able to do this show as much as I do. But yeah, no, I think we're gonna win this war. I think Trump's the man. You know, people want to hate on Trump. That's fine. That's up to you. That's your prerogative. Trump, at the end of the day, is gonna win this one, man. At the end of the day, Trump's winning this one. There's a lot of people that don't want to admit that. I know. It's just a lot of you guys that don't want to admit it. That's fine. But Trump's winning. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? All right, you guys, I am a little bit tired. It was fun to react to this video. It was not fun to react to the first videos that we reacted to. To be honest, a lot of those were really depressing, and you know, my heart goes out to those kids out there, man. Luckily, none of the kids were hurt, though, from what I hear. But still, the fact that anybody was killed is it's disturbing. It is disturbing. So I don't know. Stinson says that Donald always has the upper hand. The Art of the Deal. Hell yeah, dude. I love The Art of the... I know about The Art of the Deal. I've never read it or anything, but I know about The Art of the Deal. Stinson is also saying read the first 2 volumes of Nixon's memoirs. He talks about China, the awakening giant. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, you guys, I'm pretty tired at the moment, so feel free to send a gift if you want. Feel free to send a super chat gift, whatever you guys can. It does help the channel grow, or even simply become a member. Channel membership is only 99 cents a month. You know, we're trying to get as many members as we can get. So like I said, 99 cents a month channel membership's pretty good. We got some exclusive content for you guys to enjoy. Yeah, I try not to get too emotionally invested, Stinson. I appreciate the optimism. It's a little tough not to, you know, because it just sucks because, you know, seeing stuff like that happen is just terrible. It really is. Still looking through a couple things real quick. One moment. It's taking a little bit of time. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay. Okay, you guys. All right, I am tired. I thought I'd be able to keep going for a little while longer, but I am tired. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. But I do want to thank you guys once again for tuning in. Just have yourselves an incredible rest of the day. And thank you, Stinson, for the advice. I appreciate it, brother. Have a great night, everybody. And stay tuned for more Michael Garza shows. Brought to you by... I don't know. Anyway, catch y'all.